Hey everybody, it's Chloe Baggins.
And I am Bushido.
Bushido?
That's right. That's Mr. Bushido to all of you. Welcome back. Today's review is...
Wonder Woman 1984.
We were 2 years old. What an awesome time, man.
You were 2 years old. We had this conversation.
So I was 2, you were almost 2?
1.5.
Man.
Depending on, and this took place in the summer, so I was 1.5.
Oh yeah, so I was 2. My birthday's in March.
Mine's in September.
Oh man, what a great time to be a kid in the 80s.
It was pretty
We
good.
had the coolest stuff. Be jealous. Be jealous.
It's true, because they don't make most of those toys anymore.
Toys, shows, Saturday
mall.
mornings, the mall. Man, y'all are missing out. Y'all missed out. Y'all missed out. We were the chosen ones.
Agreed.
Anyway. Should I go first?
No, I should because I...
Okay, you go first. Go ahead,
first.
You go first.
So the movie opens up with a really powerful scene. It's younger Diana, played by the same actress who played little Diana in the first movie.
Fun tidbit of information. She actually did her own stunts.
Which makes her even more of a little badass.
Yeah, wow.
Because this was a fantastic scene.
Like on the horse and stuff? Oh, man.
Yes, so little Diana is facing off against grown-ass Amazonian women.
Warriors.
Seasoned,
hardened, badass warriors, man.
who probably had been training for this their whole lives.
Oh,
and here
man.
comes little 12-year-old, 13-year-old Diana just hauling ass through this optical... You know what it reminded me of?
What, American Gladiators?
American Gladiators. I loved that show in the 90s.
Good show.
And so she's ahead almost the entire time, and a lot of these women are just they're brutal, and they don't give a shit that she's 12 or
Oh no, they're like, this
old.
is an equal opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. You want to play
man.
with the big boys? Here we go.
Big ladies.
Big ladies.
Man, these women were badass. Every single one of them.
Most of them, side note, were actual bodybuilders too.
I bet they were.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
I bet they were.
So Diana loses her horse because she gets too
She looked back.
She looked back and got too wrapped up in her confidence, and I think she got a little cocky, and the branch just knocked her off, and her horse kept going. So she jumps off and goes through a little
Takes a shortcut.
And
the
then
easy way out.
And then ends up back on her horse. And she's gonna win. She absolutely could have won. But her aunt,
Auntie Antiope,
played by the amazing Robin Wright, who, God, she looks amazing still.
Badass, man.
Did you know she's married to Sean Penn?
You mentioned that during the movie.
Yeah. She pulls her back and tells her, no. This is not the
shut
truth.
that down quick.
Broke my little heart. Because that was but it's true, that it made her more humble, and it made her realize that you have to work hard for everything that you have.
Yeah, and what a really powerful and like empowering, inspiring moment for young girls and boys. But I think mainly the target audience here are young girls growing up, and it shows them that you can be strong, you can be smart, you can be quick on your mind, quick on your feet. But
6 years old, 12 years old.
Yeah, but always remember to, keep things down to earth and be humble and don't take the easy way out. What a really cool, powerful message that was.
Ask me if I cried.
Did you cry?
I cried that whole scene.
And nothing sad even happened.
No, but I was just so inspired.
Yeah.
Watching this little girl just kick ass, and it was really cool, because you rarely see a situation like that where it's nothing but women in the audience, nothing but women competing, and these badass women like that.
Man, Ellen Ripley's everywhere.
Except Ellen Ripley wasn't in this movie.
I know, but that's like my analogy.
Not everything does not have to go back to Ellen freaking Ripley.
She's the progenitor. She's the one that inspired these strong, badass women in cinema.
She didn't inspire me.
She was the pioneer that started it all. So for me, my analogy when I see a strong woman, a natural, strong, badass woman in film, Ellen Ripley. And I know all you brothers and sisters out there that feel me, Ellen Ripley.
My pronoun is she, her, and she did not inspire me. I'm
She
sorry.
inspired me. And I'm not even a lady.
Your pronoun is he, him. Anyway, since you ruined my moment.
Just a beautiful scene. Beautiful, strong. Just like you felt it. You know what I mean? That's the best way I can feel it. You felt it.
You felt it in every inch of your body. And then it opens up with Diana Prince and her anthropology job.
Yeah, she's like an archaeologist, anthropologist, which makes sense because you think about...
No. Rewind.
What? It's the mall scene.
It's the mall scene.
Yeah, the mall scene.
So they're at the mall and they have a jewel heist.
Like a jewelry heist type of thing. And
But this guy was screaming. The way I was screaming for the intro, he was screaming for the mall.
oh man, what a just... Again, you had to have grown up during the time to appreciate the iconography that's on display in the scene. It's like, oh my God, it's a fun time at the mall on the weekends. At the arcade, the food court. There's lots of people having a good time.
I wonder if they took like an old mall.
Probably dressed it up.
And dressed it up.
Dressing, you know.
Yeah.
But still, really cool. Really cool. I you know, when you have nostalgic memories for that, you're just like, you put a smile on your face. Put a smile on your face.
One more time?
Put a smile on your face.
One more time.
Nope, that's it.
And so these jewelers don't want jewel thieves don't want the actual jewels that are in the jewelry store.
They want like the Indiana Jones artifacts in the back.
In the back. The stuff that nobody really should know about. So how do they know about it?
Right.
So they take it out, they're running, and a poor little girl gets held hostage. And then to the rescue is this sexy ass
The Queen
Wonder
of
Woman
the Valkyries
comes flying in on with her lasso of truth right on through. And it was amazing. Of course she saves the day and then she goes back to normal.
Yeah.
And that's when we get introduced to
What, her job?
Barbara.
Oh yeah, Barbara. And so I mean, you know, Kristen Wiig, right? Plays Barbara.
Kristen Wiig, which was actually quite surprising because if those of you who've watched Saturday Night Live know that Kristen Wiig is from SNL. And she's known more for comedy roles.
And now she plays like the kind of socially awkward, kind of, you're really, really book smart, but you're having a hard time connecting with people interpersonally. And again, I think the message there, you know, she's looking up to Diana because Diana she's beautiful, she's smart, she's confident,
kind
and down to earth. But, you know, she looks at Diana like as the woman she would aspire to be like, but probably for the wrong reasons. You know, she doesn't understand who she sees Diana for the outside, but she doesn't understand the things Diana's dealing with. So the whole mess, and Diana is so kind and so accommodating to the socially awkward Barbara. You know, when everyone else is just passing her by, like she drops her papers, Diana's the one that helps her up. And so I think the message there also is that, you know, don't ever isolate other people because they may not act as cool as you might expect them to because you're acting or accepted a certain way. Always be sure to extend that hand of compassion and understanding to other people who may not be as socially comfortable as you are. And that's an amazing message for girls to get and for guys too.
That was me when I was younger.
What?
Socially awkward.
I can't see that because you're chatty.
Because it's just you and me.
No, even with other people.
Well, it took me a long time to get there. College really helped me with that.
Right.
Helping me find myself.
Right, but that's really cool that, you know, if you break down...
For those of us who felt socially awkward and always wanted to be like the cool girl.
Or included with the cool group type of thing. You know, that's the message there. If you break down to the lowest common denominator of their dichotomy, you know, Diana is clearly the cool girl, and then Barbara is real clearly the, I don't know, outcast, I guess, if you want to say that.
Yeah.
And then
overlooked
and not really paid attention to, taken for granted, you know. And Diana, it goes the extra mile to extend that hand of friendship. That's the lesson there. That's very well done.
Yeah, I loved it. So, moving forward, they have this really cool artifact.
The MacGuffin.
The MacGuffin.
It's a MacGuffin movie.
Where you have one wish. And that wish, Diana, you know, she closes her eyes and the wind blows in her perfect hair. And you know for a fact that she is wishing that
Steve
would come back to life. And so movie continues. Barbara makes a wish because she wants to be as cool and as
she wants to be like Diana.
Just like Diana.
And that comes with a bonus.
That she doesn't know about. One morning she wakes up and she pulls the refrigerator off the door.
Yeah. So in wishing to be like Diana as a person in a social setting, she unwittingly wished for Diana's powers too. Which is like, oh, bonus. Okay.
Heck yeah. I mean, and holy smokes, Kristen Wiig is cute girl to begin with. But when she woke up the next day, like, you could tell, like, there's something about a confident woman that's just way more attractive, right? Like,
of course.
Holy smokes, like, the next day she was like...
you can tell someone who's real and someone who's trying too hard.
Yes.
You can tell. You can tell either it's individual, you can tell it with couples in a relationship, you can tell who's solid and who's faking it and not doing a good job at it, you know? So, yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah, and and then Pedro Pascal plays the bad guy. Oh, not really bad guy, but man who's lost his way, I'd say.
Power hungry.
Yeah.
Greedy.
Yep.
Money wanting.
Yeah, he goes for the MacGuffin to wish to become the wishing stone so that he can be the wish granter. And in granting wishes, he's able to take something of theirs in return, and then it just spirals out of control.
The monkey's paw.
The monkey's paw. It's just, and the whole world basically, once he's granting everyone's wish, the entire world, the price that those people pay, the toll that he exacts, causes the world to go into like pandemonium, like on the brink of World War III type of thing.
End of the world type of thing.
Yeah, it got real extreme really quick.
Real fast.
And I think, go ahead.
So let's talk about things you loved from this movie.
First and foremost is Gal Gadot's performance. Like, she is Wonder Woman. I cannot imagine anybody else playing that character now.
Especially after this one. I think this one really solidified it for me.
Yeah, like her demeanor, her body language, her voice, her being Wonder Woman, and Diana Prince.
I love how raspy her voice is.
Yeah.
She has such a sexy voice.
Yes, she does.
Stop. Put it away.
Yes, she does. Yes, she does. Yes, she does. But for me, she is the strongest point of the movie. I mean, yes, the lessons being subtly told through Wonder Woman's interactions with the people around her for the audience and the younger audience to pick up on are very important, but those lessons would not be so effective if Gal Gadot's performance wasn't so on point. She has owned that character. Like, she is synonymous now with Wonder Woman.
I feel like this Wonder Woman was a lot more confident than the last Wonder Woman.
Yeah, because the last movie, she was kind of like a fish out of water, and like her first experience in the world of men was World War I. Like, oh my God, like what an extreme, impossible situation to be put in, but also an ideal way to showcase her powers. But now it's Diana years, like decades later, after the fact, and you see how that's affected her. She's a loner. She's lonely. Amidst everything she's accomplished, she's clearly successful monetarily, but she's empty inside. So for me, the biggest strong point is Gal Gadot's performance. And that's it for me. That's it for me. I feel like she's in the wrong story, if that makes any sense. She's in the wrong story.
What?
Yeah. First of all, it's an 80s movie. They specifically chose to have it take place in the 80s. I think because right now in pop culture, the 80s is so prominent. But if you think about how you feel about the 80s watching this movie and how you feel about the 80s when you watch Stranger Things. When you watch Stranger Things, you really feel like you're transported back to the 80s. Something as little as hanging out in your basement. You are back in the 80s. Here, it's more like, oh, hey, that's an 80s thing. Oh, hey, that's an 80s thing. Oh, that's an 80s thing too. And then it stops. I don't feel like I'm in the 80s. And then I feel like Diana should not have, like Maxwell Lord should not have been the main antagonist. It should have been Cheetah, right? Because she's the superpowered being. She's the metahuman in the movie. She's the one that can pose some kind of a physical challenge to Diana. Why is it the greedy schmuck with the MacGuffin?
Because he's the one that has the powers.
Yeah, and I mean, that's why I mean, like, yeah, the movie's okay for me, but I feel like Diana is in the wrong story that was made into a movie. I feel like they could have told a better story for Diana to be in, because Diana's performance is so on point.
Okay, well, let me stop you there. Let me talk about my pluses and minuses before you get to yours, because I feel like you're totally taking this over.
All right, go ahead.
So the pluses. I think that this movie was fantastic and totally inspiring. I loved it as soon as it was done.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it was a little cheesy. Yes, we forgot that it was 1984. But I loved how they brought in Linda Carter at the end, you know, and she plays the
legendary warrior that had the golden armor,
yes,
and all that.
That who originally wore it. She was back down on Earth. I love how they mimicked the fashion style that Linda Carter used to wear in the Wonder Woman TV show.
That had Gal Gadot in.
I loved how they introduced her ability to be able to fly. It wasn't just like all of a sudden she just picked up and started flying. I loved, and I was even talking to Bushido about this in the middle of the movie. Wouldn't it be cool if they brought in her invisible airplane, and not even 15 minutes later, they are flying in an invisible airplane, and I loved that.
But the plane itself is not invisible. It's
her powers.
It's another ability that she learned, and that's cool. That's cool. I like that better than an invisible plane.
Just magically
But it's
happening.
something that she has to manifest through concentration.
So that means anything she gets into can be invisible.
That's cool.
So it's a great movie for self-discovery. And I really feel like this movie should have been her first movie.
Really?
Yes. Because, yeah, she was, you know, the first movie should have been like a what are they called? Prequel? When they talk about, you know, how she's coming into World War I, and she's just very like, where's the war? I'm ready to fight war. And she doesn't really give a shit about what...
She's overly idealistic and doesn't know how ugly the world is.
Exactly. I feel like this one, you know, should have been her first movie. And then they could have gone back and introduced Steve.
That's cool.
I don't believe Steve needed to be part of this movie.
Me too. That's another thing. I feel like, you know...
I think that...
I don't think Diana needed a love subplot in this movie, because Diana she'd already gone. I mean, yeah, she's just still emotional scarring from it, but it's decades later now.
I think this may explain though why she's so hard, because she had to give him up not once but twice. You know, and it shows how selfless Diana is.
Yeah.
Because she was the first one to renounce her wish. Even though she didn't want to, she did. Eventually.
And that was cool that the wish was slowly rendering her powerless.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the price she had to pay.
More human, you know, because it took what was most valuable to her, and to her that was her powers. So, you know, those are the pluses. I did not particularly enjoy the scene where Maxwell Lord is in the... What's it called?
Satellite TV.
Satellite TV.
Satellite TV.
And Diana has her lasso of truth wrapped around him, and she's talking about, she has this really amazing dialogue. It didn't fit well there.
And I mean, I understand why they did that.
Why they did that.
They're showing that.
But I didn't like it. It was really cheesy.
She's using her her heart and her brain to win the battle instead of her fists. And you're like, yeah, I get that, but we're watching a Wonder Woman movie, right? You want to see her doing Wonder Woman stuff.
Yeah.
That's the point. That her doing the heart to heart could have been with something else, and then you have the big showdown at the end. Because she's Wonder Woman. You want to see her, you know.
I wanted to see more of Cheetah.
And that's the thing. I think Kristen Wiig was Cheetah for what, 4 minutes? At the very end?
She may end up being the antagonist in the next movie.
Who knows?
Because Wonder Woman 3 was greenlit 2 days after it was released. So that means some good came out of it.
Absolutely. Again, like you said, you know, Gal Gadot doing her Wonder Woman thing and all the lessons and portrayals involved with that, flawless. She is that character.
So what would you rate this movie? How about let's take my rating first. My rating, I think, after sitting on this for a few days, I think I'd rate this movie an 8.
Okay.
After we finished watching it, I was like, 10 out of 10! But I watched it again, and it's a great movie. It's just not as great as I felt like it was, because I think I was riding an emotional high. We had just finished watching, you know, it was, you know.
Yeah, it's good to let it sit and kind of fester for a minute. Yeah, let it simmer over.
So I rate this movie a great 8 out of 10 Bagginses.
That's cool. That's cool.
Let's talk about you, because I know that you had some difficulty
with
this
you know,
one.
the best way I can say is that I feel like Diana they should have told a different story with Gal Gadot's talent. That's what they should have done. That's my opinion. Regardless of the time it could take place in the 60s, 70s, present day, whatever, Gal Gadot's still going to show up and kill Wonder Woman. She's still going to like knock it out of the park. But the antagonist, I mean, okay, Pedro Pascal's great, whatever.
He's a good actor.
Yeah, but the thing is, I didn't even remember the guy's name at the end. That's the thing. He didn't like, oh my God, he was crazy as that villain. It wasn't like that for me. I would give, again, I'd give this 6. 6 Baggins out of 10. It's not a bad rating.
That's lower than the first one for you.
Oh man, the first one, I thought the first one was amazing. We'll do a review for that one, but I just think, again, if I just take her being Wonder Woman and everything involved with it, that is a shining, glorious 10. But I just feel like everything else, she should have been up against somebody more formidable for everything that she is. Steve didn't have to be in the movie. It kind of cheapens his death from the first one. That's the problem when you bring people back from the dead. You can do it over and over in comic books and people just shrug it off like, all right, whatever, he's back, he's alive again. But in movies, like, I would feel the same way if they brought Tony Stark back. It's like, well, why did they make it such a dramatic ending for Endgame? It's going to cheapen it for me. Well,
I don't necessarily think that it cheapens it. I think it probably would have been a little bit more believable if the person's body that he overtook,
yeah, that's another thing, he
would have stayed, if it wouldn't have switched like to what Diana was viewing, because the movie was not told specifically from her point of view. I think it would have been a lot more believable if it was Steve inside of the man's body, but they didn't need to bring Chris Pine back. You know?
Yeah, they did a whole quantum leap thing where he's in the dude's body, so it's like, where's the guy's... Where's his soul? Where's his essence? Where's his personality? While Steve's there, what's his soul doing? Just like asleep? And it's like, so Diana sees him for Steve, but then the rest of the world sees him for that other guy. It's just, that's very messy. They could have done the whole movie without that. And yeah. Diana could have learned a different lesson about letting go and moving on a different way. That's why I mean when it could have been a different story. That's the best way I can describe it. I gave it a 6. 6 out of 10 Bagginses.
And I give it 8 out of 10. So let us know what you guys think. With that being said, make sure to like and subscribe. Click that bell so you get alerts, because we're getting better and faster at
posting.
Hey, And shout out to those 27 subscribers.
Ooh, 20. I know, that's awesome. Oh my God.
We're super excited.
That's really cool. Thank you all so very much. We don't take any of it for granted. I never thought, you know, to me, I take it as every subscriber is a big deal. Like, that's very awesome. Thank you. Thank you very much.
So, again, make sure to like, subscribe, ring that bell. Give a shout out to Bushido and to the Baggins. And make sure to follow us on Instagram.
And always take care of yourself and those around you. Stay safe, stay healthy, and no matter what, be excellent to each other.
And Wakanda forever.
And ever.